So hello again everybody, we're going to take a look at part 2 and part 3 questions today again, and today's topic is going to be plastic waste, a quite common topic in IELTS these days. So describe a time when you saw a lot of plastic waste. Now you can describe any kind of occasion where you saw a lot of plastic waste. It can be some place in your own country, in your city that you saw, or it can be some kind of a documentary, which I'm going to choose and describe here. So where it was and what you saw. I haven't seen in person, it means I haven't seen it in real life. It was though I watched the documentary about ocean plastic waste. So I'm going to talk about plastic waste in ocean. Now, why there was a lot of plastic. In commercial beaches, people may discard trash which can then make its way into ocean. So now in this particular bullet point I can talk about how people go to beaches to relax, and they take with them kinds of cool drinks, fizzy drinks, and they drink it. Sometimes even they take snacks and they eat it, and they don't usually take their trash back with them. They just discard it in the area, so then it can get into the ocean and they can cause some problem. What you did, there was very little I could do, but I shared the video on my channel to spread some awareness. Now in this case, since I watched it online, since I watched on documentary, since it wasn't in human in person, I couldn't do anything in terms of cleaning the area or collecting some trash and throwing it to the specialized or dedicated areas. But only thing I could do was spread some awareness and make some people aware of their actions and try to encourage them to throw the trash in very special areas, dedicated places. So now, or even they can recycle them. So how you felt? Disappointed at people being so irresponsible. Now you can expand on this, you can elaborate on this point, and we can talk about this topic more than 2 minutes. That's not a problem. So now part 3 questions. How can we reduce our plastic waste? By offering alternatives like paper bags instead of plastic ones, or biodegradable plastic bottles or stuff like that. So now it's a big deal because plastic don't degrade, it doesn't rot, and it can stay in its form for a lot of years, and that's the biggest problem with it. Even if we fill the landfills with these plastic waste, it's not going to rot away, so it's going to take a long time. So that's why it's important to have biodegradable plastic materials or alternative to plastics. What kind of plastic waste are often seen in your country? Most common in Uzbekistan, in my opinion, is probably polyethylene bags. They are cheap, and that's why it's dime a dozen and everyone uses them. Now and the thing, I guess it's something good with our people, they reuse these plastic bags. That's a good thing. That's a very rare thing. Usually when people use plastic bags, they throw it away once they're done with it, but our people don't do that. Usually they reuse the same plastic bags, which is a good thing. But regardless, it's still a big problem. Why do people like to use plastic products? Because they are cheap but durable. I think that's the biggest reason why people choose to use plastic materials instead of other ones. It's cheap, it's ready material, and it's very durable. So I think that's the biggest reason. Now rest of the questions will be for you to practice and come up with some ideas and some vocabulary you can use, like the ones I used here, biodegradable and stuff like that. This is topic specific vocabulary, and if you use this kind of word in your speaking, of course correctly, if you use it correctly, you're going to get higher mark. So that will be it for today's short lesson, and hopefully see you soon on next one.